Hey y'all, and welcome back to another segment of Ball Cap Chronicles. Today we're going to talk about setting goals and not goons. What's a goon, Melva? You'll find out. But before we get into that, I've got to talk about the ball cap. I'm rocking my ball cap that I got from Italy this past year. I had a big goal and set big plans to go back and spend some time in Europe, going back to some of the places that I visited while I was in the Navy. So I was in the U.S. Navy for 4 years, did 2 med cruises, and had a milestone birthday last year and wanted to go back to Europe as part of celebrating that big birthday. And the fun thing was I got to take my daughter with me to share and experience some of those attractions, and we really had a ball. So I'll probably drop some pictures below. But yeah, so I want you to think about setting goals and not goons. So what's a goon? We've heard about a goon, being a thug or something that terrorizes us and something that is a negative in our space or our environment. And unfortunately, when we set goals without any true plan of action, they can become goons because they haunt us. We really can't accomplish those things, and of course they show up year after year after year as something that we're continuously trying to accomplish. So I want you to think about those things when we talk about how do you set a plan of action that's going to be beneficial for you. And again, whether you have set that as a New Year's resolution or a mid-year resolution, most of those things are same stuff, different day or different year. But I want to help you along this journey, and hopefully you can accomplish some of those things that are important for you. Now, we all have goals, or we all should have goals and things that we're aspiring to do, whether that's a career goal, a family goal, a financial goal. I want to save $10,000, an educational goal. I want to go back to school. I want to get a certification. It could be your artistic goal. I want to be creative and create something that's going to have an impact or just express who I am at this point in my life. It could be a goal for public service. It could be a goal for pleasure, to take a trip like I did. Or it could be a physical goal where you really want to get in shape and do something about your health and wellness. So all of those things are important for us to establish in our life and be working toward every single day. But when we talk about goals, we do have to be realistic on what we can accomplish and exactly have a plan or strategy to get there. One of my favorite sayings is, those who fail to plan to fail. Get it? Those who fail to plan to fail, because you're going to fail if you don't really execute and are clear about what you're trying to accomplish and the steps it takes to get there. So here's what I want you to think about in setting a goal. Again, this is for you if you set some New Year's resolutions, or for someone who is just struggling and say, I know I want to do better this year about X, Y, and Z. The first thing that you have to do is set a goal. So I'll think about a couple of years ago when I decided I was going to run a half marathon. I was kind of voluntold that I needed to run the marathon, and that was a long story. I'll probably get to it in one of these segments. But the goal was to get enough training to accomplish being able to run 13.1 long miles. So the goal was set. I knew exactly what I needed to do. Have enough endurance to run 13.1 miles. We had to make a plan. So luckily for me, I work with a professional running coach with Resolute Running, and we established a plan of action. What does that plan look like? We were training 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and on Saturdays at 5:30 in the mornings. Yes. So that was the plan. We had to get up and do things, and it was a progressive. If you know anything about running, we started out running small amount of miles, and then we ramped up to get to enough endurance to run 13.1. So the goal was set. We had to make a plan. The plan was there. I knew 3 times a week. Then I had to get to work, which means I had to get up on those mornings and get prepared to go and be there on time at 5:30. So that meant I was up some mornings at 4:30 just to have enough time to get up, get dressed, eat something, and be out there ready to stretch and get ready to work. So I had to put in the work to make it happen. This is where most people fall. It's great for them to set the goal, make a plan, but they never execute. So you've got to execute your plan. Here's the other thing that kind of gets a few people caught up. You set the goal, you made the plan, you start putting in the work, but it's hard for you to stick with it. So think about those things in life that you've already laid out. You know what you need to do. You got the tools and resources, but you just can't continue that commitment to do it and do it right. So you got to be able to stick with it. It was tough. It was hard. Look, I was not a runner. I was not even in shape. And the fact that I had to get up more those mornings and run and stick with my team, all of those things, it became very difficult. But I knew I had a goal that I wanted to accomplish, and so I had to put in the work. So I had to stick with it come running day. And then the last part of it is reach your goal. So I was able to reach my goal. I did not reach the time that I wanted. I wanted to do it in under 3 hours for a novice. That's still a long time, but you go run 13.1 miles. But I did reach the goal, and I celebrated that success. So I'll drop some pictures below of that as well. And then the other thing about it is reward yourself. That's part of the goal setting and planning that people miss. Reward yourself. Do something special for yourself to reward that, and then start all over again. Start up. Now, I'm not going to run another half marathon, a partial marathon, a fourth of a marathon. But that did give me the tools that I needed to know how to stick with something that was important to me and actually to live it out, and also have a great illustration to share with you. So as we close, there are 3 things that I want you to remember from this. Number 1, drop the long New Year resolution or mid-year resolution list. If you got more than 3 or 4 things on your list that you want to accomplish, your list is probably too long, which is going to lead me to step 2. Prioritize. You've got to have some priorities in your life. What's most important for you to accomplish this year? Is it most important that you go back and complete that degree? Is it most important that you get the certification? Is it most important that you relocate for the job of your dreams? What are those big things that you really, really want to do that's going to have an impact on your life? And then the other things, not to say that they're not important, but they may not be ranked as high in priority as some of these other things, which means that they don't get as much of attention as some of your high priority things would. And last but not least, be intentional and follow the steps. Don't just say, I want to do this and try to jump out there and do it. You really need a plan of action. List it out. Be specific about what you want. If you want to save money, be specific about, this is the end goal. I want to save $10,000 this year, but this is how I'm going to do that. Whether that's saving, putting some money away every week, whether that's opening a new bank account, whether that's getting an accountability partner, whether that's canceling your credit cards on all of these online sites. Yeah, I'm talking about myself. What is that plan of action? So again, the 3 that I want you to remember: drop the long list. Be specific about 2 or 3. Prioritize that list so that it has the most of your attention. And last but not least, be intentional and follow the steps, because it's not going to happen organically. You've got to put in the work to make it happen. Well, that's it. I've talked enough. I hope that you will make sure that you're establishing some strong goals and not goons to be successful in your life, in the new year, or wherever point you are. You got this. So go ahead and put in the work. This is Melva from Ball Cap Chronicles. Y'all be blessed. Bye-bye.